Ladies and gentlemen, the SmackDown main event tonight was quite interesting because we have two confirmed releases, and those people are, well, not who you would expect. Let's start with number one real quick. Let's start with Xia Li. Now, she's, been in the WWE for a while, been in NXT for a long while, and she came out to the main roster and wasn't able to do too much. Her career, unfortunately, didn't took off. A lot of people are saying that she had a lot of potential. Fellas, Brian, especially, what do you think about Xia Li? Did you, like her, or how do you take these news?
I'll be honest, man. When I saw the news, I really wasn't surprised, and I don't mean that being disrespectful. It's just I haven't seen her really do nothing for the main roster. When she was on the main roster, she was basically a pin eater. So personally, I'm not really surprised at it. She could have asked for her release. I don't know if that was something that they talked about, but she could definitely be using her talent elsewhere. I mean, I think a lot of wrestlers are talented. They're just not put in the position to obviously succeed because, as we all know, this is scripted and, things get pushed and things like that. But honestly, man, it doesn't really I'm not hurt in any way. I hope that she finds a job, but, that's basically how I feel about it. I mean, I, I wish her luck. I'm just not surprised.
No, it's quite understandable. Kenny, I see you shaking your head over there, saying she didn't quit by her own devices. What do you got? What do you got to say?
No, I don't think she quit by her own devices, and I don't think the releases are over. Like you said, we know two for sure right now. I don't think they just released two people and that's it. After WrestleMania, pretty much every year they do the Black Friday thing, where at the that week they release a whole lot of talent, and the names just keep trickling out whenever the guys are ready. Back in the day, back in my day, they used to say this person was future endeavor. They really don't do that anymore. The wrestlers usually come out or we find from these dirt sheets just like we did today. So I don't think she asked for her release, especially somebody like her, because what's she gonna do bigger than WWE? She might end up in Stardom or something like that, but it's not WWE. Now, as far as should she have been released, they're cleaning the books right now. WrestleMania, they clean house. I mean, and I haven't seen her on TV in a very long time. I know when she first came up, I wasn't watching NXT at that time, so I wasn't familiar with her. But I know they tried to put so much into her entrance and the special effects, and they were like, "Oh, this is going to get her over." And people were saying the entrance was cool, but you got to be more than an entrance. And apparently she just wasn't because they didn't stick with her. So shouts out to that young woman. Hopefully she can go to Stardom or New Japan or something and cook. But WWE just wasn't the place for her because we see how they kind of treat these Japanese stars a lot. They just don't know how to book them. And it looks like Triple H is not much different than Vince McMahon in that aspect. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, which is surprising to me because we had Asuka back in 2014, 15, or
right?
maybe 16. I can't remember the exact rate, but she was tearing it up without really saying a word, right? Now, Xia Li, I don't think she was as talented as Asuka, but come on, Asuka is like one of the greatest women's wrestlers.
right.
She can really go in the ring. And like they did try to package her many, many times in NXT. I think she had a lot of gimmicks. She had like a master, and there's someone named Bo or Boa with the white face paint with her. Like, main roster, they tried to start her off, gave her a couple of angles. None of them really seemed to catch fire. This is definitely like amicable. It's just both parties tried, and nothing really, no spark came out and said, you know what, we'll see you maybe in the future. And yeah, I think one of the more important aspects of Xia Li is that she's the first female Chinese superstar too. And really, when I look at it, I don't watch, much wrestling in Japan. Maybe there are more Chinese female wrestlers over there, but she is really the only Chinese female wrestler that I know, and maybe the only Chinese wrestler. Well, we have other people in NXT now that I think about it, but yeah, she has a rare thing going like that for her, and I think she's really athletic. Maybe it was her promos, who knows? But yeah, it's certainly not fun to see anybody go. But WWE is a huge company, and like you see GTA's makers Take Two, like fire 5% of their company, like 600 people in a dime. This is just what big companies do. So every year we're just gonna have to keep on seeing stuff like this. Well, Xia Li was number one. She thanked the fans, everybody, the WWE, and there was the second person here. Before I get to that, there are rumors about Zion Quinn. If you guys know who he is, I think he might have been let go as well. Nothing confirmed yet, but I thought I would mention it. Now, the person I
Before
want
we
to
get off
mention.
Xia Li, I do want to say she is 35, so that's
Oh,
something else
okay.
that could have been working against her. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
now it's time to talk about the injustice, man. Go ahead and tell us what happened.
Yeah, like I said, Xylee was thanking everybody, but somebody else was not that thankful. In fact, that someone said, I quit. Damn it. In fact, he didn't quit. He was let go by the WWE. He has a 90-day no compete clause. We're talking about Jinder Mahal. I'm going to throw it back to you, Kenny. What do you think about Jinder Mahal getting released after he has done so much in the beginning of the year?
I hate it, man. I absolutely hate it. We just did our draft yesterday, and spoiler alert if y'all haven't seen it. One of the first guys I picked for my roster was Jinder Mahal because while everybody else hated it, and I can't lie, he wasn't performing when he was in the ring, but everything else around Jinder Mahal's character was killing it when he was the champion. They gave him some bad promos too, but like when he came out in the entrance and he was all jacked up and the camera was just swirling around him with the Singh brothers on the sides completing the package, I think Jinder Mahal was a great champion, but they just didn't present him well and they didn't put him in good spots. But I thought he could still get up to that point. But obviously, they didn't see it in him and they don't see it in him. And I don't know if they ever will. I mean, he's fired now. I don't think he's going to come back like a Cody Rhodes or a Drew McIntyre and kill it because he already did that before. And after he did it, he kind of got knocked down a few pegs and just never recovered. He gets injured quite a bit as well. So I get it, but I just don't get it. That's all. Whether it makes sense or not, I get it, but I don't get it. Brian, how you feel about my boy getting let go?
Another one I'm not really surprised at. It hasn't been. It just,
Come on, man.
it sucks though. I'm not gonna lie because, all right, bro. Like I can't really name that many WWE champions off my head that have been released, like former champions. Like I mean, maybe Bray Wyatt you could throw in there, who was released, and I can't really think off the top of my
Cody
head.
Rhodes requested it, but then he wasn't a champion back then, so I can't. You're right.
Yeah, like it's very rare that you see a former champion released because you know that these guys are actually worth something when it comes to it because you can take him to any promotion, former WWE champion, you can throw that around all you want. And I just want to point out here, I put the tweet up for you guys for those that don't have social media. Jinder Mahal said, I quit. Maharaja out. He went and posted this on Twitter. I'll be honest, I thought he was trolling. I thought he was, man, but because we were like SmackDown was on and we were like,
Yeah,
he quit, like what's going on? But this news all came out like through dirt sheets, like Kenny said. But back to, do I think he should have been cut? No, I don't never wish somebody to lose their job unless it's Death Rebel. But aside from that, I think at this point, man, I think this is better for his career anyway. I mean, he accomplished his peak in WWE. He can go try some new stuff now, do things like that. And at the end of the day, he doesn't need WWE anymore. He can go to other promotions and he'll be all right. They had him as a manager here, so I think it's good for him.
Yeah, it's not too late for him. He is 37, but I mean, if he goes out there and cooks for this next year or maybe two, then I mean, he may make it back to that stage, or maybe he goes to AEW, cooks, and he ends up retiring there. I don't know. What AEW take him though is the big question because even though he is a former WWE champion, he's been buried ever since. So I don't know. I'm hoping Jinder lands on his feet, but
well, I do know, man. In just a couple of weeks, he got over. Like he got so much over with The
I
Rock,
think he'll be
with
okay.
Seth Rollins. He just needs, good things to do. And look, you said he had a look, right? He looked like a star. I agree with that. He doesn't have to wrestle. Maybe he can go to Hollywood. I think he's Canadian. He was born and raised in Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you can come join us, Jinder Mahal. Come kiss the ring, and you can join us too. And we can get this thing going as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I think this is happening because Triple H is now in charge. I think under the rule of Vince McMahon, Jinder would have been here for a bit longer, in my humble opinion. Because he's not perfect in the ring, but he's got pretty much everything else, man.
I'll be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
to agree with Carol, he looks like a star. As much as when I was younger, I didn't agree with him being champion or whatever it was. I think it was just the youngin' in me at that point. Because you see Jinder Mahal, he was basically established as a jobber most of his career in the WWE. So they put the title on him, and as a kid, you're like, yo, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? So you begin to lose a little bit of interest, but that's the image that the company gave him, not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just used to what the WWE is putting out in front of me. But I think, the guy elsewhere could be a star. He can go to different companies. There's options now. So, yeah, man, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, for sure.